Well, the HBL PSL finalists from last year, the Multan Sultans, they start their campaign in Season 9 of the tournament in emphatic style. It was a massive win by 55 runs across the Karachi Kings tonight. What a wonderful victory it was for the hometown heroes in front of a hometown crowd for the first time in Multan Cricket Stadium for this edition of the tournament. It's a very warm welcome to the pitchside studio here where, of course, we're celebrating a wonderful win by the Multan Sultans, and to do so I've got Dawid Malan himself from the Sultans alongside me and, of course, Buzzard Khan. I mean, first time back to the PSL in 4 years for you, and what a way to do it, straight back into your work with a half century.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's always good being here in Pakistan and being part of the PSL. So to come in and score some runs in the first game and contribute to a win is a great start for us as a team.
Absolutely, it was a wonderful innings, and that partnership with you and Reza, well, at the time it sort of felt like after the power play it was a little slow to get going, but in the end the conditions actually weren't that easy, and it was such a crucial partnership to the large total. Yeah,
it was. I think we struggled from 10 to 15. After that timeout, we struggled with a bit of momentum and to find the boundaries, and we actually thought we were probably 10 short there, especially thinking that the dew might form later on. But it wasn't a traditional wicket here. It was a lot stoppier and slower. And then credit to David Willey, who took wickets in the power play that actually made that sort of 10 or 12 runs short that we thought we had, probably a higher score than what it was.
Hey, Bazid, what did you enjoy about the particular innings as well? Obviously David's and that really crucial partnership with Reza.
Well, you always look at once the team is batting first, how they assess conditions and go about setting a target. I think that's the most difficult part of T20 cricket. We sitting in the comm box are thinking, why aren't they going harder? Why aren't they scoring quicker? But the ability to then know what is a good score and the ability to give yourself that chance to get to that good score. So whenever Dawid plays, he gives himself time. And I think the communication, I'm judging from afar, but the communication between the two batters was perfect because of the fact that you went at a certain rate and then you achieved a target which was defendable, and obviously the communication back to the dressing room. I think we'll have a question for you after that, is that the communication would be where is it more easy to square a run and which lengths are to be bowled, and with you obviously very good square of the wicket, but it just seemed as if once you bowl into the pitch, short of a length, that was the way to go?
Yeah, we found that really hard actually, the changes of paces, because it was a bit stoppy, and then you've got the small boundary and the big boundary, so we actually were trying to target the smaller boundaries, but they actually bowled really well, which meant that we had to start taking on the bigger boundaries. So it was actually that little period after the timeout or the drinks break where they actually bowled exceptionally well to us and actually pegged us back. At that timeout we said we probably need about 180 to 190. And then because we had that little bit of a slow start, we actually felt we left some runs out there. But yeah, look, I think the hardest thing about assessing the conditions is when you have a preconceived idea about the wicket. You know, we have been told that this is an unbelievably good batting wicket, and you know, when you suddenly start playing and you think that you're just behind the game all the time, it makes it really tough to trust what you're thinking at the time and trust how you're seeing it. And I mean, it could have gone a different way and they could have chased it in 16 overs, and we knew we were probably a little bit short, but you know, the way our bowlers bowled there was fantastic on that wicket.
Well, let's go back to the batting though, because at the end of the day that scoreboard pressure truly made the difference when it came to putting the pressure on the Karachi Kings from the word go. Reza Hendricks, you've been playing against him in World Cups and all around the globe, but you get to bat with him, and from your perspective, what did you enjoy about what he kind of brought to the innings?
Yeah, he played brilliantly. He's got a very clear method on how he wants to go about it, and I think the best T20 players have, the guys that score runs consistently, and he stuck to his method throughout the time and throughout the innings. He also played shots like that where he took the risk at the right time, just times when the pressure was building on both of us. He took a risk and he managed to find the boundary which sort of eased it a little bit. But yeah, he's a class player. He's done it all over the world, and I'm pleased for him to start and score some runs.
Yeah, he absolutely did. And you know, they're not the easiest conditions in the world, are they? But he seemed to find it really easy tonight, scoring all around the ground there. A particular shot that stood out to you that you just sort of went, oh, okay, boys on tonight?
Yeah, I think the one he hit early off Hamza over his head, the ball swinging in. If a batter can hit that shot, I think you're in really good place, and his balance and his movements were good there. And he's just so calm at the crease, which in T20 cricket you have to be. And so it was a pleasure to watch him do his business up close.
I mean, you are an in-demand international, English obviously, but you play all over the world. When you're not playing for your country, you do fit in the odd franchise tournament. What is it about the HBL PSL that made you want to come back and be a part of it again this season?
Well, it's the tournament that gave me my sort of head start into franchise cricket. It was my first one, so it's always good to come back and always good to be part of it. You know, I learned a hell of a lot about my cricket and myself as a person and developed my game accordingly. So yeah, to be part of this is great. It's a different challenge. You play in different conditions, and I think the one thing that I've found is, and the hardest of this is you turn up and everyone bowls quick, and you've never faced them before, and they're sort of coming out of the woodwork, and it's fantastic for Pakistan cricket to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you look at numbers? Do you look at data in your game when you're batting? Do you actually assess what is a power score, what type of bowling will be difficult to score off?
Yeah, I do a lot of homework on the bowlers, so I'll always do a bit of watching, and I'll ask a lot of questions with the guys that have played against them, try and find out what they do under pressure. So do they bowl slow balls, do they bowl length, do they try and go Yorkers, and then try and identify a bowler that I think is probably my matchup on the day according to the conditions and the wind and the boundary sizes. And if I really do fancy someone on the day, I'll try and put them under pressure a lot. Also in terms of numbers, speaking to our analyst about what a par score is and what a par winning score is, because they're two different things. You know, yeah. I think the par score here is 170, but the winning score is a bit higher. So you can sort of judge your innings accordingly, knowing that if you're too far behind, you know, you have to take a risk and you can play accordingly.
But the other thing is that Multan Sultans very rarely lose a game at their home ground. Today, before the game, everybody was worried about dew, and it was almost a thing like we should bat first, but they might be due, so we shouldn't bat first. I think in the end it was a good toss to lose.
It was. Well, we trained here for 2 nights and there was a hell of a lot of dew. It was soaking wet, and we've rocked up tonight and there's no dew. So I don't know what they've sprayed on the ground, but yeah, it was different. And that's why I said I thought we were a bit short there, because we thought the dew would form a bit later on, and then nothing happened, and the conditions stayed exactly the same, which played into our favour.
And you've got a really unique coaching staff as well. You know, we champion obviously women in sport, and the Multan Sultans have been the first team that have had women on the coaching staff, and they've got 2. How's it been working with Alex and Catherine?
Yeah, they're not my department. I don't bowl fast, so I don't bowl spin. So I haven't done much work there. But yeah, look, it's good to see in the game. You know, it can only grow women's cricket, and that's what everyone's about.
Absolutely, and we know that the Multan Sultans are all about statisticians and analytics, and you know, Ali Tarini's always been about that, hasn't he, Buzzard? You know, how have you found that? Obviously, it's something that you bring into your own game as well. Do you enjoy the amount of information that's available to you?
Yeah, I don't mind the information. I'm not a fan of meetings, I've got to be honest. I struggle to sit in them, but I do enjoy asking the questions and getting the data when I need it, and trying to use that in my game as much as I can. But yeah, look, it's been fantastic so far. They've got a method that wins. They've been the most successful in terms of wins, I think, franchise, and you can see why. They do a lot of homework. They a lot of attention to detail, you know, and you can see their local players flourishing from that.
You're a big golf fan, are you? Do you play golf? Multan has the best golf course you'll ever see.
Oh,
I've heard it's very good.
You have to go out.
I think the boys, when they played the Test series here, lived on that golf course, from what I heard. But I just need to find some time at the moment, because at the moment I think the times are 6:30 for us to tee off, and it's a little bit early for me.
I can confirm I took up golf in Pakistan last year. That's how good Ramanza is. But Dawid, thank you so much for your time. Wonderful performance by you. It's so great to have you back in the comp. So appreciate your insight. Let you go get some rest, hey?
Thank you very much.
There's still plenty more to unpack here at the pitchside studio. We're going to be talking about the Karachi wickets that fell. I mean, they fell thick and fast, didn't they, Bazir Khan? Right from the word go, David Willey with the new ball.
Yeah, it was great bowling. The lengths that they bowled, they learned from the first innings that it was the short of a length, just back of a length, that was going to bowl. There was a little bit of swing up front. Even the leg spinner Osama Mir persisted just back of a length, and that's where they got the pressure onto the batters, and in the end, even with the Basta Freedy into the pitch. So once there wasn't any dew, you had to just make sure that you hit back of a length. Ball didn't really come onto the bat, and then we saw Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was very impressive with his old ball, or defensive bowling skills, the Yorker, and attacking the stumps throughout. It was quite a sight to behold, and before the game, they've obviously decided that Muhammad Ali will be given a lot of responsibility.